Hi everyone, welcome back to Science with Miss Wynn. Today we are going to talk about weathering. So the last couple of days we've been talking about volcanoes and earthquakes and how they change the Earth's land. But today we're going to be talking about how weathering changes the Earth's land. So you might be asking yourself, what is weathering? Well, weathering is what causes rocks to break down into smaller pieces. So first I'm going to show you an example of someone doing an experiment to show what happens when rocks weather. So looking here, you can see that he has small pieces of chalk. He's going to put the chalk in a container, just like that, and then he's going to add salt to the container. The salt will help break the chalk into smaller pieces. Once he taps it, he's going to start shaking it up. As he's shaking, you'll notice that it starts to become very powdery. So he's shaking, 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 shaking. And when it's done, it looks like a powder substance. So before, the chalk was in big, big chunks, and now they're in tiny, fine little pieces. Just like how rocks are usually very, very big, and then weathering causes them to break down into tiny, tiny pieces. So what you're going to do now is you're going to watch my experiment. Hi everyone, welcome back to Science with Miss Wynn. So we've talked about volcanoes and earthquakes, and today we are going to be talking about weathering. Weathering is something that happens when water or wind changes the shape of the land. So today we're going to be talking about primarily weathering. So we're going to do a little experiment to show you what weathering will look like. Alright, here we go. So down here I have some beach sand in this tin and some water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the water to the beach sand where there's no sand, in this area right here. So as this is happening, you can see that the water is moving up the sand. So this is acting like the ocean. So now, as it's moving up the sand, we're going to make some waves. As we're making waves, you can see that the sand is moving around. You see the sand is moving more towards the side that doesn't have any sand on it. This space is getting smaller. So the sand is moving around. Now the water, with weathering, the water is changing the sand's shape. It's making the rocks in the sand smaller. It's making them more round. And it's making them move about. So weathering, especially with water, causes the shape of the rocks or the particles to change. Now notice how this side that didn't have any sand now has sand. So the water moved the sand from this side all the way to this side. I didn't do it just by making the waves, in turn changing the shape of the sand particles. Notice how the sand does not look the same as when it started. So that tells us that they have changed their shape and maybe broken down into little bits and changed their overall look. So the important thing to notice is that weathering changes the way the rock looks and the shape of the rock due to, in this case, water. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how weathering can change the Earth's surface due to wind. You're doing a great job. I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow. Bye! Alright, did you enjoy that experiment? We saw how water changed the shape of the rocks in the sand and caused them to look a little bit different. Now, for our final recap, we can see that rocks break into smaller pieces. So weathering is the breaking of rocks. And this could be caused by water, and it could also be caused by wind. Tomorrow, we're going to take a look at how wind affects weathering. It was great seeing you. Can't wait to see you again here tomorrow. Bye!